All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle a question, really a paradox that every single student runs into. How do you get better grades without basically living at your desk? It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. So let's just imagine two students for a second. Over on the left, you've got student A. We'll call him the grinder. This person is putting in a brutal 6 hours just mainlining caffeine, totally stressed out, and all they're doing is rereading their notes endlessly. But then, on the right, you have student B, the strategist. They put in just 2 hours, calm, focused, and they walk away with a better grade. I mean, how is that even possible? Right. That is the exact question we're going to unpack today. And spoiler alert, it's not magic. It's all about strategy. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first piece of the puzzle, it's all in your head. It's a mental shift. We've got to completely break that connection we all make between the number of hours we sit at a desk and the grade we get on the paper. You know, the core idea here is really simple. It's not about the time you spend, it's how you spend that time. Seriously, stop measuring your success by the ticking clock. Start measuring it by how effective you're being. I mean, think about it. 5 hours of just highlighting a textbook? That is not the same as 1 solid hour of actually grappling with the stuff you don't understand. And this actually brings us to a really powerful psychological idea. It's called Parkinson's Law. Basically, it just means that work expands to fill whatever time you give it. So if you tell yourself you have 3 days to write a paper that could probably be done in 3 hours, guess what? It's going to take you all 3 days. The work just puffs up to fill that space. But here's the cool part. You can flip this law and make it your superpower. It's a simple 3-step process. First, just estimate how long you think a task will really take. Then, chop that estimate down by, say, 20%. And finally, set a timer and just go. You'll be absolutely shocked at what you can get done when you're racing a clock that you set for yourself. And this isn't just some abstract theory either. I mean, check this out. This student's teacher, Mr. DeMarco, he actually did this to his class. He kept cutting their exam time down from 30 minutes to 20. And at first, everyone probably freaked out, right? But by the end of the year, they could all do it. They adapted. It just goes to show this is a real, proven way to build focus and get efficient when the pressure's on. All right, so we've got the mindset locked in. Now, let's move on and actually architect the perfect study session. The real secret here is all about optimizing your workflow. Okay, one of the biggest, and I mean biggest, hidden time sucks is something called context switching. Think about it. Every time you jump from one kind of task to a totally different one, like going from analytical math problems to writing a creative essay, your brain has to slam on the brakes and sort of switch gears. That retooling time isn't free. It costs you focus and it costs you energy. So the question is, how do we cut down on that cost? Well, just look at the difference here. The inefficient schedule on the left, it forces your brain to make 3 of those jarring mental jumps. But if you use a little strategy called batching, where you group similar tasks together, look at that. You do all your problem solving at once, then all your essay writing. Bam, just one mental shift. You save a ton of time and, more importantly, you stay in that deep focus zone. All right, here's another mental trap we all fall into that just eats up our time. It's called the sunk cost fallacy. You know that voice in your head, the one that whispers, hey, you've already sunk 30 minutes into this impossible math problem. You can't just give up now. That's the one. You feel like you've got to push through just because of the time you've already put in. The smartest play here? Just recognize you're stuck, swallow your pride, put a star next to that killer problem, and just move on. Seriously, it is so much more efficient to go scoop up all the easy points from questions you do know how to answer. You can always circle back to the tough ones later if there's time. And speaking of strategy, the order you do your tasks in, it matters way more than you'd think. So look what happens if you start with what we call a variable task, something like writing an essay. It's mentally tough and there's no clear finish line, right? So it just expands and completely devours all of your available time and poof, there's no time left for anything else. But now, watch this. Let's flip the order. We're going to start with the fixed tasks first. These are things with a definite endpoint, like make 20 flashcards. Done. See how that creates a hard boundary? It's like putting a box around your time. Now, the big, variable essay has to fit into the time that's left over. And just like that, everything gets done. Okay, so we've got the mindset down, we've figured out the workflow. Now it's time for the final piece of the puzzle, the specific tactics you use during that focused study block. This is where we make every single minute count. Here's a great little hack for when you're short on time, especially if you have to cram. Don't read a chapter from page 1 to the end. Read it backwards. Yep, you heard me. Start at the end with the chapter summary and key terms to get the big picture. Then do a quick pass just scanning headings and bold text. Finally, read just the first and last sentence of each paragraph. This way, you're guaranteed to hit the most important stuff first. This one is so simple, but so powerful. Stop wasting your time rereading stuff you already know. It's crazy. Instead, when you're in class or doing a first read-through, just put a little star next to anything that makes you go, huh, anything you find confusing. That's it. Then, when it's time to review, you just hunt for the stars. Your review sessions instantly become laser-focused on your actual weak spots. And hey, let's be real. We live in the 21st century. Don't forget to use the tools we have now. I'm talking about AI. It can be an amazing study partner. Feeling stuck on an essay? Have it brainstorm some topics. Need a roadmap? Ask it to generate a research plan or a clean outline. You can even use it to help polish your writing and refine your tone. This can shave hours, literally hours, off your writing time. So, let's circle all the way back to our two students, the grinder and the strategist. The thing is, they're not really two different people. They're a choice you get to make every single time you sit down to study. And the good news is, you now have the entire playbook to shift from being the grinder to becoming the strategist. Look, you don't have to implement all of this overnight. That's not the point. The key is just to start small. Pick one thing we talked about today, just one. Maybe it's applying Parkinson's law with a timer, or maybe it's batching your homework. Whatever it is, just try it this week. So the real question I'll leave you with is, which one of these strategies will you use to start reclaiming your time? Thanks for watching.